People love to quote Warren Buffett, "Don't lose money, diversify, be patient." That's fine if your goal is to protect a fortune, but nobody ever got from zero to building rockets, cars, and global payment systems by playing only defense. If you look at my life, there is one moment that shows exactly how I think about risk, and it is the opposite of a safe, comfortable plan. When PayPal was sold, my proceeds were about $180 million. I could have stopped there. I could have bought a big house, a yacht, a private island, and spent the rest of my life talking about the good old days. Instead, here's what I did. I put $100 million into SpaceX. I put $70 million into Tesla. I put $10 million into SolarCity. That was all of it. I literally had to borrow money for rent. That is what all it actually looked like. It was not a meme. It was not a quote. It was wiring almost every dollar I had into rockets, electric cars, and solar, knowing that if it failed, I would look like a complete idiot in front of the entire world. So the obvious question is, should you do that? The answer is no, and yes, no. You should not copy the exact numbers or scale. Yes, you should understand the principle behind it. Most people never get rich because they never go all in on anything. They spread their energy over 10 ideas, 10 side hustles, 10 half-finished projects. Nothing compounds. Other people go all in way too early, on bad ideas with no skill, with no real plan. That's how you go broke. The real question is not, should I go all in? The real question is, when is the right moment to go all in? What is the actual threshold? I call it the all-in threshold. There are 3 conditions, 3 boxes you have to tick. Before I explain those, you need to see what all-in really meant for me. After PayPal, the safe move would have been, put the money into a diversified portfolio. Live off the interest. Do some small angel investments for fun. Instead, I put almost everything into 2 companies that were very likely to fail. A private rocket company, an electric car company. Both of those ideas sounded insane at the time. Many rockets had failed. Car companies in America had died for decades. Electric cars were seen as slow toys for rich people, not mass market. So why did I do it? From the outside, it looks like gambling. From the inside, it was concentrated conviction. There were 3 parts. First, asymmetric upside. If SpaceX worked, it could dramatically lower the cost of spaceflight and make life multiplanetary. If Tesla worked, it could speed up the world's transition to sustainable energy. The downside was, I lose my money and my reputation. The upside was, we change the fate of the species. That is not 2x or 3x. That is many, many x. Second, world-changing problem. These were not apps for ordering snacks faster. They were problems that tied directly into physics and survival, energy, transport. Space, third, confidence in my ability to execute. This is the part people don't like to talk about. All in only makes sense if you have spent years building the skills to even have a chance. Before PayPal, I studied physics and economics. I wrote code. I built web software. I learned how to raise money. I learned how to run teams. I made mistakes in smaller companies. By the time I went all in on Tesla and SpaceX, I was not trying a random thing. I was taking everything I had learned and focusing it into a few very hard problems. That's the pattern. So let's turn this into something you can use. The all-in threshold is 3 boxes you must tick. Box 1, mastery. You have spent years learning the field, the problem, or the skill, not weeks, not a weekend course. Years. For me, it was software, physics, and engineering. For you, it might be design, sales, medicine, robotics, clean energy, AI, or something else. The test is simple. If someone dropped you into a hard problem in that field, would you at least know where to start? If the answer is no, you are too early to go all in. You are in the learn and earn phase, not the bet your life phase. Box 2, massive impact. The idea you are considering is not just, how do I pay rent this month? It has the potential to change an industry, change a part of society, change how people live or work. You do not have to be saving the world, but you should be working on something that can scale far beyond your own time. Tesla was not about selling a few cars. It was about forcing the entire auto industry to move toward electric vehicles. SpaceX was not about a few launches. It was about making space travel cheap and reusable and opening the door to Mars. If your idea can never be more than a tiny local thing, going all in on it is usually not worth the risk. Box 3. Real skin in the game. All in is not just about money. All in means you are willing to look stupid. You are willing to be uncomfortable. You are willing to lose status. You are willing to be wrong in public. When Tesla was almost dead, I had to choose between keeping some money for myself or putting the rest in and risking everything to keep the company alive. I put it in. I had to borrow money for rent. That is real skin in the game. Most people say they want to go all in. What they actually want is a guaranteed win, no pain, no embarrassment. That does not exist. So here's the all-in threshold in one line. You should only consider going all in when you have mastery in a field, a massive idea that can change an industry, and you are truly willing to put your comfort and reputation on the line. If even one of those is missing, it's not time. Now you might say, okay Elon, but I'm not sitting on 180 million from a PayPal exit. How am I supposed to apply this? You don't copy the scale. You copy the principle. You can use what I call a mini all-in framework. It looks like this. First, pick one skill or field and give it 2 to 3 years of focused learning. Not casual learning, focused. This means most of your free time and optional energy goes into this one area. You read the best books. You build small projects. You work with or for people who are good at it. You get paid to practice it if you can. Second, after those 2 to 3 years, pick one project and give it 12 to 24 months of ruthless execution. It could be a startup, a career pivot, a content brand, an agency, a deep move inside your company where you take ownership of a core problem. The key is, you stop dabbling in 10 ideas. You go deep on one. This is your mini all-in. Third, set clear downside protection. Going all in does not have to mean sleep on the street if it fails. Downside protection is no high-interest debt. An emergency fund that covers several months of basic living. A simple, boring plan for what you will do if this project fails. That gives you room to take real swings without ruining your life if you miss. What you absolutely should not do is split your focus into 10 side hustles. Change ideas every 2 weeks. Never build mastery in anything. Never give any one idea enough energy or time to actually work. From my point of view, that is the real high-risk plan. It feels safe because you are diversified, but in practice, you are just guaranteeing that nothing compounds. Remember this. Buffett plays a game of preserving and compounding a huge base of capital. That is a different game than going from almost nothing to building world-changing companies. My style is higher risk and higher conviction. It is about building, not just preserving. You do not have to be as extreme as I am. But if you want to build something meaningful, at some point, you will face the all-in threshold. You will have to decide, do I keep playing small and safe? Or do I pick one thing that is worth my life and push all my meaningful chips onto that square? Most people spend their whole lives asking, is this safe? I ask, is this worth my life? The first question keeps you average. The second question builds empires. You will not get a perfect answer, but if you never ask the second question, you will never know what you could have built. So here's your homework. List the skills you have. List the problems you care about. Ask which combinations could actually move an industry or a part of the world. Then ask honestly, if I spent the next 10 years going all in on this, would it be worth it? If the answer is no for every idea you have, keep learning. If the answer is yes for one idea, and you have the 3 boxes checked, that might be your all-in threshold. Most people will walk away from that moment. You don't have to. If you want more of these deep dives into how I actually think about risk, focus, and building, subscribe. Share this with the person you know who is stuck dabbling in 10 things, and start asking the question that matters. Not, is this safe? But, is this worth my life?